Just how powerful is a 20-watt diode laser? In today's video, we're going to find out. I'm Chad from Chad DIY, and today we're going to be testing out this xTool D1 Pro 20-watt laser. Now, if you're like me, you probably have a lot of questions about what laser is right for you. You have 5-watt, 10-watt, 20-watt, now even 40-watt in the diode laser category. And one of the big questions is it going to be powerful enough? Well, in today's video, we're going to find that out. We're going to go through 3 tests. We're going to cut softwood, hardwood, and plywood. Now with those 3 different types of woods, we're going to be cutting different thicknesses of them, and we're also going to be cutting them at different speeds to do a real world test of just how well a 20-watt diode laser can cut. Now after all this testing, you do decide that this xTool 20-watt laser is the right one for you. I really appreciate if you use my affiliate link down below. It doesn't cost you any more money. They're having a huge sale right now, so I really encourage you. It really helps the channel as well to use that link. So let's get started. All right, so here are the results for the pine softwood that we used. Now I want to start off by saying that I did not test any 1/8 inch material. The reason for that is a 20-watt laser is going to really have no problem cutting an 1/8 inch material. 10-watt lasers do very well at 1/8 inch. So I didn't even want to include that in the testing. We're starting right off with the 1/4 inch material here. All right, so we start with the 1/4 inch material. As you can see, what did cut out was the 3. Now what the 3 means is on the xTool Create Space software, it goes by, I believe, millimeters per second. So that 3 represents how many millimeters per second. So the higher the number, the more millimeters. So the laser is going faster. So on this first test, I did 3, 6, and 9 millimeters per second. The 3 cut through on the first pass. These are all just one pass as well. As you can see on the back down here, you can see that. The 6 was kind of close. I bet you a 4 or 5 probably would have cut through as well. So I could have gone a little faster than the 3. Then for a little faster speeds on the second cut, I went for 2 passes. So at speed 6 with 2 passes, it cut through very nicely. And at 9, you can see it almost went through. So at 2 passes, I probably could have done a 8 millimeters per second, at least for sure 7 on 2 passes would have gone nicely as well. All right, moving on to the 1/2 inch. I didn't even attempt to try 1 pass on that. I went straight for 2 passes. Now, when I did do this cut, it actually looked like it kind of cut through on the first pass. So I'm wondering if I really don't like to go slower than 3 millimeters per second. I could have gone 2. 2 possibly would have on 1 pass, even on 1/2 inch thick pine, probably would have gone through. So that's pretty exciting. But anyways, so out of 3 millimeters per second, nice clean cut there. Goes through 1/2 inch really nicely. All right, then finally we tried the 3/4 inch. I've tried it at some slower speeds. 3 passes, you can see it went 4 millimeters, went 3 millimeters actually, and the end result was a fail. I hardly can call it a fail because I was not expecting this to cut through 3/4 inch. When you attempt to even slow it down even more, it's almost just catching on fire. It's going so slow, and as a repeated cuts, it's really not even safe to do. So that being said, with pine, you're not going to get the 3/4 inch if that's what you're hoping for. It's very solid on 1/2 inch pine. 1/4 inch pine, you actually can get some decent speeds on that. So really pleased with how it cuts through the softwoods. All right, next up we have the hardwood test. What I used is red oak. I started with the 1/4 inch as well, and I did, if you can see the engraving, it's a little light, but I went 2 millimeters per second, 1 pass, and I went 6 at 2 passes, and then I went 9 at 2 passes. And the end result, as you can see, is it all cut through actually. So what that tells me is I could probably go in the 3 to 4 millimeter per second for 1 pass for 1/4 inch oak, which is really exciting actually. It wasn't all that much different than pine, just maybe obviously it's a harder wood, but it cut really cleanly with all these different scenarios. All right, now moving on to the 1/2-inch oak. I attempted a few different, you can see that, I attempted a few different things. What did we do? We went 2 millimeters per second, 2 passes, 6 at 3 passes, and 9 at 3 passes. And the success I had was the 2 with 2 passes. The third pass really didn't make that much difference when you start going at those speeds. The 6 millimeters at the 3 passes came very close. You can see the attempt that I almost went through, but really what I'm finding out here is you're better just to slow the speeds down and do less passes and try to speed it up and do multiple passes. It's better at the lower speeds. And these cuts, you know, they're a little char, but they're nice. They're nice and clean cuts. So very, very satisfied with 1/2-inch hardwood with the 20-watt laser. So it's gonna be the same. I didn't even try doing the 3/4 inch. I kind of knew after the pine didn't go through, I wasn't gonna mess with the oak. So, but yeah, I think you can be confident if you have 1/2-inch material, the 20-watt is gonna cut just fine for you. All right, now for our final test is the plywood. Now plywood can be a little tricky. The layers are glued, so it can be a little inconsistent. So sometimes even thin material, what you're used to running at a normal speed, there'll be little spots that just don't go through for whatever reason. A little different than the solid woods. But the 3 test runs I did on 1/4 inch all went through just fine actually. So I started with just a 3 on 1 pass. I did a 6 with 2 passes and even a 9 with 2 passes. And it all cut very cleanly actually. As you can see, I forgot to use air assist. If you can see what happens when you don't use air assist, the difference. It might be hard to pick up on this camera, but air assist makes a huge difference. Like you don't have that burning or that smudging around the cut lines. So really conclusion for 1/4 inch plywood, I probably could have gone maybe even 5. You know, the 6 at 2 passes, I want to say almost cut through the first pass, so possibly even a 6 millimeters per second on the 1/4 inch plywood, which is a good speed. Diode laser, that's a pretty good speed for a 1/4 inch material, so I was pleased with that. All right, and finally we have the 1/2 inch plywood material. Now the first 3 passes, once again, you can see I forgot to turn the air assist on. It's easy to do when you're trying to film and everything, but all these kind of burnt edges or whatever, that's what the air assist really helps, because as you can see, the 6 with 2 passes and the 9 with 2 passes, none of them went through. So, and really my experience is with the air assist, it actually cuts a little deeper. So I feel like if I did have air assist, this 3 probably would have popped through on 1 pass. 2 for sure would have, because then I kind of stepped it up right again to, I did 2 at 2 passes, no problem. That probably cut out on the first pass. I'll kind of pop it in there. And then the 4 at 2 passes went along well. And as you can, hopefully you can see the difference. I did use air assist on on the bottom ones, how much cleaner it is. So big difference. But yeah, end result is that the 1/2 inch worked just fine. And really a 1/2 inch for all these materials, for the softwood, for the hardwood, and for the plywood. With the 20-watt laser, you're really gonna have no issue cutting through cleanly with all those materials. That being said, if you have any questions on this xTool laser, just leave them in the comment section below and I'll respond to you. Also, if this kind of helped you push you over the edge, like, yeah, that's a laser for me, I'd really appreciate you use my affiliate links. I'll include them down below. It doesn't cost you anything more and it just helps the channel out as well. So, as always, I'll see you on the next one.